this recipe, I'm using this meat called Ossobuco. So I'm using 5 pieces of it. You are going to need 2 onions for that. These are the herbs we're using. So 1 garlic, 500 grams tomato, peeled tomatoes, parsley, and I'm using 2 bay leaves. These are small, but if it's large size, you can use just one. What do they call this again? I'm going to put all the ingredients in the description, but for the purpose of the video, I just want you to see how the herbs looks like. So I'm also going to use 2 cups of white wine. I'm going to use in total 5 tablespoons of olive oil. So I choose the bottle because it's easier for my measurement. I need 1.5 liters of water, so this is easier for me. Although I have the measuring cup, but this is perfect for me. Start by putting on the oven. We have to preheat the oven first. We'll preheat the oven to 200. So the oven is set. Now we are going to go to the flour. We're going to need 2 spoons of baking flour for this recipe. We are going to flour the meats before we start to fry them. So I'm using 2 spoons for this. Flour them on both sides. Rub in the flour on both sides of the meat. Once that is done, you are going to on your stove. On your stove, and start to fry. Stove is on, and now we are frying with the olive oil. We need in total 5 of these, so I'm going to add the 5. So we need 5. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once you add your olive oil, you have to reduce the fire so it doesn't get too hot. You reduce the fire and it doesn't get too hot. It's the flour, you can put it back. I always put my flour in the freezer because it keeps it fresh. That goes in the freezer, and then we prepare to fry the meat. This is called Ossobuco. It comes with a bone. The bone has to be inside the meat, so you have to cook it with the bone. I'm going to put in the description where this recipe is from. I think it's an Italian name, Ossobuco, if I'm not mistaken. So once your oil has heated up, you start with the meat. You pour your meat with the olive oil. Remember to make sure the heat is really low. And then you can increase the oil, increase the fire a little bit. While that is frying, you can start by preparing the vegetables. Start with onions because once the meat gets golden brown, you have to introduce the onions immediately. So onions. So it's time to turn the meat on the other side so it doesn't get too burnt. Be careful of those parts as the oil tends to splash. Turning the meat. This part I really don't like too much because of the hot oil. So you have to be careful and probably wear something protective. There you go. Okay, so one part is done. You can see the beautiful golden brown of the first part of the meat. So I'm going to fry the other part and the golden brown as well. Now you go back to your vegetables. Put the adding it in the right direction. Okay, so we're taking out the meat now. Beautiful golden color of the lamb. So with the same oil, we are going to fry the onions. You don't need to change the oil. You don't need to change the oil. We are going to use the same. We are using the same oil for frying the onions. At this point, I'm going to put the onions and start to fry them. Fry the onions until they are golden brown. So I'm going to take up garlic, is crushed. So I'm starting with the celery. One stalk if it is enough, if it's big, and if it's not big, you can see I'm using 2 because these are really tiny. But normally the recipe is one of these, but these are really very tiny. These are the ones that you find in the supermarket, and I'm using this. So just going to chop this. Then the parsley. So you're going to chop these, and then we'll go back to the onions. And we're adding all the vegetables. Fry with the onions until they are all good. So I'm going to change the fire. You can see some of them are starting to overcook. So at this point, it's better to use a smaller fire. I'm bringing in the tomatoes, 500 grams of tomatoes. I'm going to leave this cook for about 1 minute. Bring in the tomatoes and the garlic at the same time. My tomatoes and garlic are going in at the same time. I'm going to leave this cook on slow heat, really low heat. And remember, your oven is still preheating, just leave it to preheat. It's better. You have to preheat the oven for the time you are preparing your vegetables. So that's about 30 to 35 minutes of preheating the oven. So now we are leaving this to cook for 5 minutes. Bringing in our bay leaves. Time to add our white wine. Time for the white wine to go in. So while that is cooking, we have to prepare the beef stock with the 1.5 liters of water. We have to prepare the beef stock. Cheers guys, I want to take some wine. So here's my 1.5 and then I'm going to add my beef stock. So the sauce has been cooking for about 5 minutes. I will be adding the Ossobuco meat now before transferring to the oven. So we are going to change the pot to a bigger one. We're introducing all the vegetables and beef broth. Going in the beef broth. You stir and then your meat. Going with the meat. Ossobuco. You can see the bone is still attached. This goes back on the fire for another 10 minutes before we transfer it in the oven. Cook for 10 minutes. So I'm adding black pepper. we leave this cook on the stove for 10 minutes and we transfer it to the oven. I'm going to transfer this to the oven after 10 minutes. So now it's going in an oven dish. If all your liquid doesn't go in, you can do this in 2 batches. You can use 2 bowls. My oven bowl is a bit too small. I may have to use 2 bowls for this. So this is going to cook in the oven for another 1 hour. So you leave this cook for 1 hour and then you add additional parsley for freshness. Once it's cooked for 1 hour, you have to add your parsley to keep the taste fresh. So I'm going to add the vegetables. After 45 minutes, I'm going to add the remaining liquid in the pot. For the total cooking time for this in the oven, it's 1 hour. Leave this cook for 1 hour. So this is going in the oven. Right now I'm covering it with the foil paper and then I will transfer for 1 hour into the oven. Firmly to keep in all the steam from going out to the oven. Our oven is nicely preheated. Be careful so you don't break your cooking. Okay, we are done. We leave it cook.